The world is constantly changing around us. When new ideas and projects often come and go quickly, it can be easy to overlook the importance of self-reflection. Yet, taking time to understand oneself and motivations, strengths, weaknesses, and experiences can be a powerful tool for personal growth and creative development. Today, we're going to talk about self-reflection. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Creativity Made Easy. I'm your host, Dustin P., creative coach and consultant. And I am here to help creatives know themselves, their process, and their team so that they can create greater things together. Before we get into today's episode, I want to remind you we are coming up very soon on October 1st, which is the release of my first book ever called Growing Upward. It's not a very long book at all, so if you're like, hey, I'm not much of a reader, this is a quick read. It's just a short memoir about my life's journey through mental health so far, something that I wanted to kind of put out into the world and encourage people along the way in their own mental health journey. I am going to be giving away a few books, so I want to kind of walk you through how to do that. Very simply, pre-orders are open now. You can go to dustinp.com/book and see everything there is there to see about the book. You can pre-order it. With the pre-order, you're going to get free shipping, and you're also going to get an early access to the audio book as soon as I release that in September. But here's how you enter to win a free pre-order, essentially. Free all of that. You make an Instagram post, and you about the book launch, and you tag me in it, and then each share of that, each post essentially gives you one entry, and I will announce the winner and notify the winner the last week of September. You'll get all that stuff. So that's the book launch stuff. Obviously, if you're listening to this, would love for you to leave a 5-star review. Release a podcast every single week. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all the places at Dustin Peed. That's P-E-A-D. And if you're interested in having me work alongside you in your creative process, you can go to dustinp.com. Click on the Let's Talk button for a free consultation on your creative process and work. All right, now let's get on to the show. This idea of self-reflection, I've heard it talked about a few times before. I've talked about it kind of off camera in several conversations that I have with friends. I even had some people in my life, probably more acquaintances than friends, who would say that self-reflection is a myth. It's impossible, that you can't see yourself. And I understand where you're coming from. It's the same way as I can't hear the sound of my own voice the way it sounds to everybody else because of the compression in my eardrums and my skull. It's hard for me to hear what the sound is of my actual voice. And then when I listen back to my voice, like on a recording like this, then I go, wow, that's terrible. That's not at all what I wanted. But you choose to listen to it, so I'm thankful for that. Anyway, I get the understanding that some people think that self-reflection is a myth or impossible. I do think it comes with some caveats. I do think it is possible, but I don't think it's necessarily 100% on you to get it 100% right. I think it's on you in terms of seeking it out. But I think it might be impossible if you were not to include anyone else or any faith or religion that you may be into. For me, if not including God, not including Jesus, it would be okay. That might be difficult for me to really, truly get an accurate picture of self-reflection. But there are some things that you can do to inch yourself closer to that, and that's what I want to get into today. Self-reflection simply is the practice of looking inward and examining your thoughts, emotions, and actions. That's pretty much it. It's a self-examination, essentially. It involves asking yourself questions about your experiences and behavior to gain a clear understanding of who you are and how you operate. Now, where this hits for creatives is it's an introspective process that can reveal insights into what drives your passion, what blocks your creativity, and how you can better harness your unique talents. That's why I'm often a proponent of self-reflection. So self-reflection can help you grow in your creativity. I'm going to give you 5 ways that it can help you grow in your creativity, just making the case for why self-reflection is important. Number 1, you can identify your core motivations. It helps you uncover core motivations for why it is that you actually want to create. And when you understand these motivations, you can provide a deeper sense of purpose and direction into your work. Number 2, you can self-reflection allows you to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. A key aspect of self-reflection is acknowledging both areas of strengths and areas of improvement. And by you kind of honestly assessing your skills, then you know where to focus, right? You know where you can focus in on if you want to lean more into your strengths, or if you want to lean away to your weaknesses, or maybe you want to elevate some weaknesses. You kind of know what the starting line is, right? So recognizing strengths and weaknesses is a second benefit. Number 3, a third benefit for creatives in self-reflection is navigating creative blocks. Now, in an upcoming episode, we're going to kind of dive deeper into this creative blocks topic. But for now, I think all of us understand fully what creative blocks are. It's a common challenge that many artists and creatives face. But through self-reflection, you can identify the root causes of these blocks, and if they stem from fear, or do they stem from perfectionism or burnout, or is it some external pressure? Is it internal pressure that you're giving yourself? Understanding those types of things allows you to develop strategies to overcome them. It's kind of the do you know your enemy type of mentality. So knowing what's blocking you will help you overcome what's blocking you. Number 4, I love that this is number 4, because as an Enneagram number 4, this is super important to me. A benefit of self-reflection is cultivating authenticity. Look, authenticity is a powerful force in creative work. It's why typically, if you're familiar with the Enneagram, that Enneagram 4s are considered to be, quote, the most creative. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that I'm more creative than any other Enneagram number. I'm certainly not. But I think the reason that that Enneagram 4s are able to tap into creativity sometimes with a little bit more ease, just tapping into it, is because authenticity is so important to them, not only in other people, but in themselves as well. So self-reflection helps you stay connected to your authentic self. It's the whole know thyself mentality. When you know who you are, you know how you express your thoughts and your feelings and your experiences. It will enrich and build trust with your audience, and it'll enrich and build trust with yourself as you continue to create. The 5th thing I want to share with you today that self-reflection kind of helps uncover is learning from past experiences. Self-reflection, learning from past experiences, both successes and failures, provides valuable lessons for our endeavors. By analyzing what worked and what didn't, you can refine your approach. You can avoid repeating mistakes, and you can build on your success. This is an iterative learning process, right? I made a mistake, I learned from it, I move on. That's why with we celebrate in good team cultures or good creative environments. We celebrate failure because it's an opportunity to learn, and that's a self-reflection tool, learning from your mistakes. We talked about the 5 different ways that self-reflection can help. Right? It helps you identify core motivations, recognizing strengths and weaknesses, navigating your creative blocks, cultivating authenticity, and learning from past experiences. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. This is just of a top 5, if you will, reasons that you should consider self-reflection as a part of your creative process. Now, I told you before the break, we're going to get into how you can actually practice self-reflection. I want to put a little asterisk here. This is not, again, the end-all list. This is just 4 simple kind of starter methods that you can use to practice self-reflection. At the end of the day, though, I do think it's important that you gain outside perspective and not just a self-eval. where it's all internal, but you ask people for feedback, which we're going to get into here at number 3. But first, number 1 is journaling. Now, I know half of you probably, when I said that, were like, oh, well, of course, journaling. But listen, I'm telling you, the most healthy and the most creative seasons in my life are when I am faithful to do some sort of journaling. Typically in the morning, when my thoughts are fresh after a night's sleep and my brain is, firing on all those cylinders and it hasn't had the day to really abuse it yet. But regularly writing down my thoughts is a powerful tool for self-reflection. Quite literally, because you can see your thoughts on the page as you write them out. You can see what you're writing and kind of observe them and separate yourself from those thoughts. It helps you process experiences, writing out the words, and it helps you gain clarity on your creative journey. Some of the most creative people I know spend at least 30 minutes every morning. Some of them call it like a vision time, where they're literally just writing down all of their thoughts. And the practice of that, the practice of using that part of your brain allows them to be more self-reflective, thus more successful and more creative. So number 1, honestly, is journaling. I know it sounds cliche, but it works. That's why so many people say it. Number 2, this is going to get a little bit into the more spiritual depths of things again, which is in a way that we don't necessarily always 100% truly know ourselves, but our Maker does. Number 2 is prayer or mindfulness or meditation, whatever you call it. For me, it's prayer. There's certainly some aspects of mindfulness and meditation in there as well. But daily practices like prayer can help quiet your mind and allow for deeper introspection. Now, here's one thing I want to say. If you're a person of prayer, I would encourage you to pay attention to how much time of your prayer are you speaking and how much time are you sitting quietly waiting to hear something back. Prayer is supposed to be this conversation between you and the Lord, if you're a Christian, between you and your Maker, right? So in that, it can't just always be you speaking. Sometimes you need to quiet your mind. That's why mindfulness and meditation is a great practice as well, because it allows you to quiet your mind and calm down the noise. If you're like me, there's always something spinning up here. So opportunity to kind of quiet that helps kind of clear up some of the fog and release the things that I need to release, thus allowing me to be more self-reflective. Number 3, I told you we were going to talk about others, that you really can't do this 100% on your own. And this is where it comes. Number 3, you have to make a practice of seeking feedback. Be ultra curious about how you can be better. Right? Now, I'm not saying be obsessive with it, but be curious. If you're in a conversation with someone that you trust and you're talking about a specific issue or topic, just ask the other person, hey, you know me well. How have you seen this play out in my own life? Am I good at this? Am I bad at this? How can I be better at it? What would you suggest? Now, you're not going to always take everything 100%. There's going to be moments of wisdom that you're going to have to filter all these things through, right? And only you know yourself probably better than anyone else on the planet. But seeking feedback, constructive feedback from others, can offer whole new perspectives and insights that you may not have been able to come up with on your own. Now, engage in this seeking feedback. You need to engage in it with trusted peers or mentors who can help you see some of those blind spots that you can't see and that you may not have noticed on your own. Always be seeking feedback. I talked about this, I don't know if it was a blog post or a podcast episode a while back, but at the beginning of this year, I launched what I called my board of directors. It came from another podcast that I listened to, who talked about how she formed a board of directors in her life, and she had spiritual mentors and financial advisors, and she had people that she went to for creative guidance, people that she went to for business coaching, and all these different things, and people that she went to ask to pray for her specifically. these board of directors are kind of the people that you would say, okay, I trust you, my peers, mentors of wisdom, to speak into my life and to help me, because I can't do this on my own. And so seeking that feedback, I'm telling you, whether it's as structured as having a board of directors, or it's not, or it's more organic in conversation, seeking feedback from others will definitely take you to the next level of self-reflection. The fourth area of the fourth thing that you can do to practice self-reflection is to set aside regular time for it. I know that sounds like, well, duh, but if you don't set aside time for something, it'll never happen. I have in my home right now probably 5 different home improvement projects going on at the same time, whether it was my choice or my wife's or the whole family or whatever. If I don't set aside time to complete those, guess what's going to happen? They won't get done. If we don't set aside as a family time to complete those things won't get done. It works for everything in your life. If you don't make time for what is important to you, then it won't happen, because time will just continue to move and you'll wake up one day and realize I never did it. So making self-reflection a regular part of either a daily or a weekly rhythm is vital. As a creative, it's vital as a human who wants to exist and contribute things to society. So it could be daily, weekly, monthly, whatever. Probably wouldn't suggest any longer than going 30 days without some sort of self-reflection, but it's dedicated time that you can set to reflect on your work and your relationships and your feelings and your progress, and just be still and kind of understand where you're at. Because when we know where we're at, then we can adjust where we're going accordingly. So in conclusion, self-reflection is not a passive exercise. It is 100% active. It's an ongoing process that can significantly enhance your creative journey. So how are you going to do it this week? Get after it. Be self-reflective. Seek some feedback. Enter some prayer, meditation. Get out that journal that you bought a long time ago that you said that you were going to use. Start using it. Set aside time for it and make it happen. When you do that, you can begin to create things that you never thought possible, because you will know and understand your starting line. Look, if I can help you with any of this stuff, I would love to chat. Go to dustinp.com, click on the Let's Talk button, hop on my calendar. I would love to talk through this self-reflection topic with you. Next week, we're going to be back to talk about something that I kind of nicknamed the Ideal Week Plus. Ideal week is a common phrase in the full focus world, but I've got some additions to it that I like to add and kind of make it my own. And I want to talk to you about that next week on Creativity Made Easy. Have a great week.